breaks my heart for Charlie's family. It shouldn't have happened.
Today on the Morning Edition, an all-out manhunt for whoever shot and killed conservative activist Charlie Kirk. What we know about the deadly shooting and the latest in the hunt for the shooter. Plus, many Alaskans look forward to their PFD checks to pay bills, take a vacation, or just spoil themselves with a little extra. We'll let you know when it might hit your bank account and how much to expect. And later, 94 years and still going strong, even stronger than most. Find out how this superstar keeps on moving as the Morning Edition starts now. Good Thursday morning, everyone. Thanks for waking up with us today. 94 years old and still in the gym.
And still touching her toes.
No excuses.
Anytime I bend over and try and touch my toes, I'm like, oh, there goes my back.
Well, you just got to stretch more, and maybe you'll be 94 and in the gym, too.
We'll see. Hopefully, I think that's all everyone's goals, to be in the gym as they continue to age and stay healthy. And, of course, if you are heading out and about, maybe you want to go for a walk or a jog later today, you will be dodging some of those widespread rain showers that we continue to see across South Central. We're waking up this morning to those temperatures sitting in the upper 40s and the lower 50s. And, yes, we continue to hold on to what's been a very wet weather pattern across the region. 50 degrees is where we're currently sitting at, with winds for the most part remaining calm. Now, throughout the day, we could see the occasional gusty wind, but largely just expecting some light breezy conditions to stick around throughout the day. So there's that widespread rain we've got ongoing across South Central, with the exception of areas along the Glen Highway. As you head east of about Chickaloon, along the Glen Highway out towards Eureka, Golcana, Sheep Lodge, this is where we're seeing somewhat drier conditions, but the rest of South Central continues to hold on to this widespread wet weather pattern that's been with us for the past several days. So we're going to continue to hold on to additional rain for our Thursday. Some dry breaks to be expected, like we did see yesterday, although today is going to be a bit wetter across the region, but we will continue to hold on to this rain steadily building in. There's our area of low pressure slowly building eastward through the Gulf of Alaska. It's really going to hover around Prince William Sound here over the next 24 hours. So we're going to see some of the heaviest rainfall through Prince William Sound, particularly across western reaches of Prince William Sound and the eastern Kenai. And as that low continues to move eastward, on the backside of that system, we're pulling in some cooler air. So we're actually going to begin to feel that into our Friday and Saturday, as temperatures both days for some locations may struggle to break out of the 40s. For today, though, we're going to call it low to mid-50s across South Central, with that wet weather continuing to remain with us. And again, we are going to see some of that heaviest activity across western parts of Prince William Sound, but even inland areas. We are going to see that chance that we could see 1+ inches of rainfall accumulation as this week comes to a close. So we'll be watching for that. I'll have more details on that, as well as that 7-day forecast for you coming up.
Oh, it's sad. It breaks my heart. I'm a big believer in clear family, and it breaks my heart for Charlie's family. It shouldn't have happened, but we have a lot. There's selfish, deranged people out there that just need to be locked up and put away. And my heart breaks.
In this morning's top story, authorities continue to search for the person who shot conservative activist and influencer Charlie Kirk in front of a crowd of thousands during one of his campus debates at Utah Valley University. In a press conference this morning, the FBI says a high-powered bolt-action rifle has been recovered near the scene of the shooting, and stated they believe the suspect to be college-aged, but are not releasing further details at this time. Police say they do believe it was a targeted attack. Jared Hill is in New York with more on the tragic incident and the outpouring of tributes for Kirk.
Conservative activist Charlie Kirk tossed hats into a crowd of thousands, settling in at Utah Valley University for one of his famous campus debates. He was taking a question about gun violence and mass shootings when a single shot rang out, piercing Kirk's neck. He later died.
He just fell backwards, and then we ducked and hid behind some stairs.
This morning, a manhunt is underway for the person who shot the 31-year-old husband and father of 2 young children.
I want to be very clear that this is a political assassination.
Utah's Department of Public Safety believes the suspect fired the bullet from the roof of a nearby building up to 200 yards away, sources tell CBS News. 2 persons of interest were taken into custody and later released Wednesday after police said they were not connected to the shooting. One of them has been charged with obstruction of justice. Supporters brought flowers to the Phoenix offices of Turning Point USA, the organization Kirk founded to motivate young conservatives.
He was one of ours. He was a champion of everything we believe.
Leaders across the political spectrum, including all current and former presidents, swiftly condemned the deadly shooting. On social media, President Trump called Kirk, who was an influential MAGA ally, a martyr for truth and freedom.
Because of this heinous act, Charlie's voice has become bigger and grander than ever before.
The president has ordered flags to fly half-staff on federal buildings through Sunday in Kirk's honor. Jared Hill, CBS News.
During this morning's press conference, the FBI also said it has good footage of the shooter, but are choosing not to release it at this time. Investigators say they also have a footprint and a palm print. The FBI also said more than 130 tips came into its tip line since the shooting yesterday. President Trump has ordered flags at half-mast for Kirk, who leaves behind a wife and 2 young children. Adelmi Ruiz joins us now with reaction from Alaska's congressional delegation. Adelmi.
Kristen, Senators Dan Sullivan and Lisa Murkowski and Representative Nick Begich all shared similar sentiments online denouncing the shooting. Senator Dan Sullivan wrote in part, quote, "Political violence is abhorrent and has absolutely no place in our country. We may have differences, but we are all Americans. May Charlie rest in peace and may God bless his young family," end quote. Senator Lisa Murkowski writing, quote, "There is no place for political violence in the United States of America. I am praying for Charlie Kirk, his young family, and those who witnessed this horrific event," end quote. And Representative Nick Begich said in a part, quote, "Charlie Kirk was a bold leader. He helped shape a generation of young people who fearlessly loved America," end quote. You can read their full statements, reaction from other Alaskan leaders live right now on our website. Kristen?
All right, thanks, Adelmi. Anchorage police have identified the 2 people found shot at the snow dump across from Davis Park in Mountain View earlier this week. APD says 44-year-old Carl Nielsen Jr. and 34-year-old Sarah Cummings were the ones found dead Tuesday morning. Police Chief Sean Case says officers visit the snow dump regularly to ensure people aren't regularly camping there. He said it appears the people found dead were there just for the night to sleep.
There were a couple of people in the area, and we're kind of classifying them as witnesses / persons of interest until we complete the interviews and determine just exactly what their role was. And keeping in mind that when I say role, like just hearing shots or seeing anything.
Police are asking anyone with information or video to call dispatch at 311 or leave an anonymous tip at crimestoppers.com. Kind and uplifting. That's how those close to 27-year-old Baxter Cox remember him. Cox lost his life after being struck by heavy equipment while on a commercial fishing vessel last week. He was fishing for cod near Unimak Pass in the Aleutian Islands. Alaska wildlife troopers say crew members attempted first aid, but Cox died. As Joe Allgood reports, friends and family say his loss leaves an empty space that can never be filled.
My whole world shattered when I lost him, and it still feels really broken.
He was a very deep, kind-hearted gentleman, and it's just like we all, the whole community felt this whole thing happen.
From the moment people met him, Baxter Cox left a lasting impression.
Barely didn't know me when he first met me, and it was basically like we knew each other forever right away.
It was a shared love of the ocean.
I always said I was allergic to land, and he's the only person outside of my family who understands that.
That brought Baxter and his girlfriend Hannah together.
He's like, I don't do anything just like whatever, not casual. He's like, you're either going to be with me or not. And I was like, okay, I'll be with you. I choose you. And he just wanted me to choose him, you know. And the way that he got me to do this is such a Nunangach man way, is he brought me an octopus. Because we love octopus in my village.
Since Baxter was often at sea, Hannah said every second together was precious time.
You know, I'm so grateful I got to spend this last month of his life in my village and showing him how to fish and hunt the Unangach subsistence way.
Lost while doing what he loved.
He loved it so much, and we love this lifestyle of fishing and being in this with the seasons.
A one-of-a-kind human being. He was genuine. He was humble. He had one of the biggest hearts and he was always there to help somebody.
And forever to be remembered by those that loved him.
They don't make fishermen like Baxter anymore. I haven't met anybody his age with his talent and his skill and his knowledge, nor his dedication. I haven't met anybody like him.
Joe Allgood, Alaska's news source.
And a boat captain linked to a large-scale drug bust in Sandpoint is set to appear in court this afternoon. 42-year-old Duke Ogata was arrested at the Anchorage airport Wednesday. This is video taken by a viewer during his arrest when he was shot during a confrontation with law enforcement. Ogata was taken into custody at Ted Stevens Anchorage International Airport. Investigators say his vessel was connected to a drug operation where officers seized close to $1 million worth of meth and heroin. Ogata faces multiple charges. His arraignment is this afternoon. And in just about 3 weeks, the first permanent fund dividend payments will go out to eligible Alaskans. This year's $1,000 dividend was set by the legislature in May. The first wave of payments is set to hit eligible Alaskans' bank accounts on October 2nd. For those who don't receive that check, the Department of Revenue says a second payment is scheduled for the 13th of October, and all others should receive their payments by October 23rd. Today is September 11th, a day many will never forget and shouldn't forget. We'll take a look back on the lingering aftermath and memorial events going on around the country and here in Alaska when we come back.
Ongoing wet weather across southern Alaska. I'll have more details on what to expect as the week comes to a close with cooler weather heading our way. But first at sunrise, 7:17 in Anchorage, 6:19 in Juneau. Your full forecast is next.
But when it comes to this competition, bigger is definitely better. Katmai National Park is getting ready for Fat Bear Week, the online showdown where bears compete for the title of chunkiest of them all. Fan favorite Grazer has won the last 2 years, but with a strong salmon season, new contenders are ready to challenge her for the crown.
Yeah, every fall, Katmai National Park hosts Fat Bear Week. It's a celebration of survival, showcasing which bears packed on the most pounds to prepare for winter. Voting for Junior Fat Bear starts September 18th. And then for the Big Bears, voting starts the following week. Let's Go Walker, which I believe is 151.
Yeah, we all know you have your favorite, Aaron. I don't know if he's ever won, though.
No, he hasn't. It's the big dump truck for me. That's why I tend to vote for him.
We shall see.
Still holding on to those wet conditions across southern Alaska, and we are going to continue to favor ongoing wet weather that will bring several inches of that accumulation for a rain accumulation out towards western parts of Prince William Sound. And of course, we are going to see a good chunk of today with that ongoing wet weather staying with us. We will see some dry time for inland areas, but largely expecting today to continue to remain fairly wet. We've got just under 2/10 of an inch of rain in Anchorage since midnight, over 6/10 of an inch of rain out towards Portage. And then elsewhere, we've got anywhere from a few hundredths of an inch to nearly 1/4 of an inch of rainfall. So it has been ongoing steady light rain that has been with us through the overnight hours. And we're going to continue to favor these wet conditions throughout the remainder of today. Now, notice our area of low pressure is going to slowly move into Prince William Sound. And as it does, it's going to really just kind of hover in place. And that's going to lead to southeasterly flow pushing right into the Chugach Mountains out towards western parts of Prince William Sound. And this is where we're going to lead to some upslope flow, which is going to lead to very heavy rainfall out towards Whittier and western parts of the Sound. This is where we will have that potential for 4+ inches of rainfall accumulation to be expected. Now, if that low is a bit further to the east, we will see a lot less rainfall, but we're still going to continue to hold on to those wet conditions for coastal regions as we close out this week. And by Saturday, we will see some dry time returning. But that widespread rain stays with us to close out the week, so be prepared for not only those wet conditions, but we're also going to favor some cooler weather as this week draws to a close. For today, we are expecting those temperatures to warm into the low to mid-50s. May see those warmer conditions out towards the Copper River Basin, where we're actually going to stay on the drier side compared to the rest of South Central. So there's our low. As it pulls off to the east, we're actually going to tap into some cooler air that's going to filter in across the state. We're already seeing that out towards western parts of Alaska. Here in South Central through the interior, we'll tap into those cooler conditions for our Friday and Saturday. And we're also talking about the potential that we could see some snow through the Denali Borough as we welcome in our Thursday evening on into Friday. For today, though, those temperatures warming mid to upper 50s across South Central. It is going to continue to remain fairly cool across the region. We've got 40s and 50s as you head into the interior. So we're beginning to see not only this fallish weather pattern, but cooler conditions taking hold as the week draws to a close. Out towards southeast, while it won't be as wet today, we'll still see some showers in the forecast with temperatures warming into the lower 60s. Statewide, though, we've got those cooler conditions out west and along the slope, where we'll continue to favor ongoing snow through the remainder of this evening for areas of the Brooks Range and along the Arctic Plains and Slope region as we head through the remainder of today. That 7-day forecast showing that as we welcome in our Friday, there's those cooler conditions for South Central. We'll call it a high of about 51 degrees, although some locations tomorrow may stay in the 40s. We'll also see the return to some cooler conditions. Kristen, we're talking about overnight lows this weekend, potentially climbing or dropping into the lower 40s. So we'll see a chill in the air the next couple of mornings.
Memorial events are being held nationwide today as the country remembers the nearly 3,000 people who died on September 11th, 2001. Jared Hill has more from New York.
It's been 24 years since the September 11th terror attacks, a moment the nation will never forget.
We need to humanize what happened those 24 years ago.
Nearly 3,000 people were killed in the attacks after terrorists flew planes into the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center in New York, the Pentagon in Northern Virginia, and a field in Pennsylvania where those on board Flight 93 stopped another plane from attacking the U.S. Capitol.
This is the World Trade Center site right here.
In Alabama, Chris Thylacker is continuing to tell the story. He served in Iraq and Afghanistan after the attacks. Now he teaches high school.
It's one of those watershed moments in U.S. history. It must be taught. The patriotic side of it, the messy side of it. It's a great rallying moment for what we can achieve when we decide to work together.
That unity on display this week aboard the USS Intrepid in New York, where teams of volunteers prepared meals to send to local food banks in the spirit of that day.
We weren't red states and blue states. We were just human beings helping one another.
For some first responders, the physical and emotional impacts linger.
I have a chronic sinusitis that became 9/11 certified. We all have our own variation of PTSD.
Christina Stanton is a 9/11 survivor. She and her husband lived just 6 blocks from the Twin Towers.
We evacuated within seconds, that second plane.
Now landmarks like these are part of her route as a New York City tour guide.
Being able to verbalize and to talk about it is something that's soothing for me.
Today, President Trump will mark the day at the Pentagon before attending the New York Yankees game in New York. Jared Hill, CBS News.
And some are choosing to remember and reflect on the day by raising money. 2 fundraising stair climbs are happening today in Alaska to simulate and honor the firefighters who climbed flights of stairs in the World Trade Center to try and save lives. One will take place at Body Renew in Anchorage from 10 a.m. to 2 today, and another is taking place at the Carlson Center at 5 p.m. in Fairbanks. The proceeds of the fundraiser go to the Alaska Fallen Firefighter Memorial Fund. Also happening today, a ceremony will take place this evening at the Alaska Fallen Firefighter Memorial near Fire Station 1 in downtown Anchorage. The event honors and remembers lives lost on September 11th, while also recognizing Alaska firefighters whose lives were lost in the line of duty. That ceremony starts at 6.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcasts from Alaska's news source automatically and stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.